Are you the only person in your home who can get your baby or your kid to sleep? If so, you're definitely not alone. My name is Bridget, and for 9 years, I've been helping people with their kids' sleep, and I work with a team of women who are dedicated to that very thing. So let me share some important things with you. There are a few key things that you can do or not do that can really help shape the way your little one goes to sleep. And since you're watching this, I'm assuming that you are that special someone who can put your baby to sleep pretty much all the time, or at least you have an easier time doing it than others. Or maybe you just don't have the choice because you are the only one who's able to do it at all. Before I get into the 3 key things that are going to make a big difference for you, I want you to get a little curious, maybe get a bit uncomfortable with the idea of letting someone else fumble their way through the bedtime routine and through helping your little one fall asleep. After all, you had to do that, right? And so sometimes, and I was guilty of this myself, a partner or an in-law or the grandparent can be trying to get baby to sleep, but they're crying more, they're upset more, they're like maybe getting more escalated before they'll eventually fall asleep. And so we interject ourselves because, okay, of course, I can just do it easier by popping you on the breast, on the bottle, or rocking you, or wearing you. Before we do anything, know that it could be uncomfortable, it could sound different, you might have these alarm bells to like go and intervene, but let them fumble their way through it. It's okay. The first thing on our list we're going to go over is what in the environment could be preventing your baby from falling asleep or making them want to stay awake. So these are kind of the easier things to check off. We want a dark room. This room I'm in right now would be a fail because it's pretty light. We want a darker room. We want some white noise. We want somewhere between 20, 22 degrees Celsius, nice and cool. Think about what your baby's wearing. Do they have a fresh bum, a nice maybe sleep sock on, or a warm enough sleeper or cool enough sleeper if it's summertime? Just thinking about what could possibly be bothering them. Is there a fan blowing on them? Just try to check all those things off your list so you can know they're as comfortable as ever. Next, we're going to look closely at what's happening during that wake window. We want to make sure they're fed, they've had their tummy time, or they're babying around kind of playtime, just something going on, maybe some fresh air, to help keep them busy or keep them occupied, so to speak. And so during that wake window, we know we've checked off all their needs. Now they have a fresh bum, they have a full tum, and we're looking for that nice, good sweet spot for timing. So we're looking for red rimmed eyes, red eyebrows, glazed over eyes. Maybe they're staring out into space, they're yawning, rubbing their eyes, pulling up their ears, that sort of thing. If you see some of these things, those are early tired cues, and you want to go ahead and encourage your person who you're trying to get to help with bedtime or with nap time to go ahead and lead the way on getting that little one down. So now we know we have a good, safe sleep environment that's conducive to good sleep. We also made sure all their needs are met during that wake window. And here's the really tricky area that we can see become an issue when it's hard to put a baby down to sleep. Think about that wake window. We want them so wide awake that whole time so that they can have a good high sleep pressure to fall asleep nice and peacefully for this other person, ideally. But sometimes what happens unknowingly, and again, I've made this mistake many times, is that we offer our baby micro naps, tiny naps, those moments leading up to when we want them to have their proper nap or their proper bedtime. And that 1 or 5 or 6 minutes of sleep can really take the edge off. And then they're not tired anymore, and they're going to fight their sleep even more because not only have they had a micro nap, but their regular person that they're used to putting them to bed or to sleep is not there. So it's extra cattywampus. It's a word my husband says when things are totally out of sorts. And so we think about these moments leading up to sleep. We want them to be good and wide awake so they'll fall asleep nice and easy for us. So what does that mean? It means making sure that baby's needs are met all in this bright, stimulating area that where we know that all their buckets are filled, needs are met. Then you bring them into the place that we'd be doing a sleep time routine or a bedtime routine, whatever you would usually do. And they're going to replicate and try to do the very thing that you do. So bring them in. Maybe it's a snuggle snooze, whatever it looks like for your baby. There's lots of different ways that can look. And they would do that. And then if and when we want to prepare them and say, baby's likely going to resist it a little more. They might be a little more fussy. They also could surprise us, which is always exciting. But we have to just prepare them for this and know it's okay. I'm confident you can do this. Give it a good effort, a good stretch of time with these soothing techniques like shushing, swaying, soother, swing, all the things that you can think of to try to help them get baby calm. And remember that for them to feel calm will be helpful for them. So they don't need you probably hanging over, poking in, adding comments. Just let them kind of hang back, let them fumble their way through it exactly as many of us had to and as we became parents. Let them go through it. It might be uncomfortable up front, but what it gives you is some, I think, relief and some peace knowing that someone else can put your baby to bed even occasionally, which is a bit of a load off. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes we're just touched out or we're tired or maybe we want to go do something outside of the house. So it can be a lot of pressure to be the only one to put a baby to bed in our house. So get uncomfortable, give it a try. If you have questions, we're here to help.